Good morning, guys. It's Monday the 9th of July. I've just been triggered into a long position pre-market on the FTSE 100. So we are at 5 to 8 in the morning. And basically the FTSE has pulled back into one of the support levels I was interested in looking for a potential bullish bounce this morning. We got the sort of holding pattern, then we got the pin bar. I was happy to set an order to get long on this market. Now it's 5 to 8, so I want to be a little bit careful first of all, because, well, actually, I say I want to be a little bit careful. What I should say is pre-market trades like this, especially if you hold it going into the open, you can just see very fast spikes one way or the other. And what can happen is you can just get taken out of the trade very, very quickly for a loss. So that's one of the risks of getting into a position pre-market. Now, what the FTSE has been doing, let's actually go on to our Sunday analysis video right here. So this is the Sunday analysis chart. We had this price squeeze, and what I went over on the Sunday analysis video was that although we had broken up, it wasn't really giving me it wasn't making me overly confident of the break. However, pre-market, as we can see here, we've sort of held on the Sunday candle, and then coming into this morning, the market has started to press up once again. Now, that doesn't mean to me that we're suddenly going to have this massive bullish run up. However, what it is saying to me is potentially people are going to be looking at this market for bullish bounces. They're going to be looking at it as a potential break of that triangle. They're going to be looking at it as a run up from the break, and now they're going to be looking at it as a potential pullback and as an area to sort of get into the market, get long, and hopefully get into a rally on the FTSE. So what are we at? We're now at 3 minutes to 8. Really, what I am expecting is the market maybe just to sort of chop around a little bit until the open, and then into the open there will be a spike. My analysis is looking for that spike to be bullish, at least initially. I'm looking for really around about 7 points on this position. So not an overly large move on the FTSE. I'm long at 50, let me just double check, £50 per point. So if I can get 7 points out of this nice early morning trade, I'll call that a day for Monday. But what it's based around is just reading the market. You know, that's what I do with all of my trades. It's not about fancy indicators, it's not about anything like that. It's about sort of learning what the market is telling you, and then sort of learning what people are going to be looking at because of what the market is telling you. Because every trader out there, unless you're looking at sort of high frequency trading, things like that, it's based around people looking at charts, looking at economic data, and then putting it together and deciding what they want to do. And if you are able to sort of pick out things that happen or things that recur in the market, then all you need to do is position yourself alongside the probabilities that are going to work in your favor. And that's really what you're doing as a trader. There's no magic in it. There's no, sometimes people will say to me, that was a really good trade, really nicely done. It's just putting myself in the right position at the right time. And lots of times that happens and you still lose. And that's really frustrating, but that's all part of trading. So we're getting a little bit of a bullish press up here. What would be ideal, to be honest, is if we got that bullish press up and then I could get out pre-market. I don't think it's going to happen. We've got around about 50 seconds until the FTSE opens. But, that sort of takes you away from that very strong bullish spiking around that you can see happening. So 40 seconds. Really, there's not a lot else to say on this trade. I am just looking for the bullish bounce. We've got a little bit of resistance up into sort of 7,650. If we did see a spike up into those levels and I wasn't at my profit target, then I would really look to start considering the trade at break even. And if it started to crash back down again, I would just come out of the position. So 15 seconds, what I'll do is I will try and get the position open on the chart. Okay, so it is open. Let's see what we're going to get here. Okay, so there's the very strong bearish movement. Let's see if we can get a bullish bounce. So what you can see is this 5 minute candle, it's spiking around quite a lot. That's really one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of pre-market trades. because if you're trading into the open like this, it can get very, very spiky. Even if your position is correct, quite often you can see the market spiking down to your stop level and then reversing. But if it's lining up nicely, if it's doing everything that you're looking for, it's still worth getting into the trade. So the screen that I trade off of is to the right. The camera is here, and then I've got everything else on the left. So that's why I kind of look off camera. Okay, so we're at 6.5 points. I want to give it a little bit of room to sort of bounce around. So now we're holding very strongly at that level. So I'm not really doing anything here. When I go quiet, it's just because I am a guy. I can't really do multiple things at once. I am watching the trade, just looking how it is developing. It's not really putting in as strong a bullish press as I was hoping for. I was really hoping for that initial, just really strong spike up. It looks actually like it might have just spiked toward the profit target, and I just wasn't fast enough to get out. So let's see if we can get another run up. So what I'm going to do, whilst this is bouncing around, I am just going to bring up the trade, if I can do it. There we go. Okay, so we're starting to see the bears stepping in here. There is the potential now for this market to start making another run down, which I don't really want to see. Let's see if we can start holding at this potential support level. So what you can see is this is basically the ATM candle. The ATM candle spikes around, very often bullish and bearish. That's why you sort of give it, or I personally give it a little bit of wiggle room, because especially after the weekend, you know, the buyers and the sellers are there with their orders. They're all coming in at once. The market can spike up, it can spike down, and it doesn't really give you the overall direction of what is actually happening in the market. It's a little bit frustrating. I know a lot of people who they don't actually trade the first hour of the market's open. I used to be a little bit like that myself, if I'm being honest. Okay, so the market is now pressing back up. What I would say is if we can sort of get to 5 points again, I'm going to consider this trade to be at break even now. So if we hit the 5 points and then come back down to the entry, I'm going to come out of the trade at the break even level. I've given it enough wiggle room now in the ATM candle. I don't want to start just holding on to this trade blindly because I have, you know, a little bit of analysis for that bullish bounce. Okay, so we're at 6 points. Let's see if we can get up to 7 here. I'm just aware that we're testing at this level here, which is that potential resistance. We've already shown a little bit of rejection off of it. I don't really want to see the market crashing down once again. But the stop now is at break even. I don't tend to bring up my physical stop. I just do it manually because the time it takes to adjust your stop, when you're trading lower time frames, very often you can just sort of miss it. Okay, so we're at 6.3 points. See if we can get another little press higher. Where are we at? 6.8. I'm going to take that, £340. Okay, so trade done. Monday morning, we're at 8:06 a.m. I wish I could say this happens every day, because last week we had an early morning trade as well. First trade of the week is the one that I record and post up. It's not like this every day. Last week I had that Monday trade, and then I only had one other good trade the whole week. The rest of the week was just sitting watching the charts. But as I always go over, it does happen on occasion, and it is fantastic because now it's 8:07 a.m. I am finished. Well, I'm not finished work. I'm finished trading. Now I can sort of move on to doing my emails, moving on to do decisive trading sort of stuff, which I also really love. But there's nothing else that I have found that I can do this. I can be finished by 8:07 a.m. Have made so much money, and all I've done is really clicked a mouse. You know, had a coffee in between. So if you find you have a passion for trading, first and foremost, protect yourself, protect your trading account as you're learning. But if you've got a passion for it, you know, really work toward it, guys. There's really nothing else like it in the world that I have found as yet. Okay, so hopefully, as always, that was helpful. I hope you're all having a good trading week, and I hope you have a good trading week into the Friday. I'm James Orr, and thank you.